we are with the fabulous Edie Sassoon. It's so exciting. We've been so looking forward to this for such a long time. We've been messaging back and forth.
A long time.
Thanks so much. And your salon is awesome.
Thank you.
It's so cool.
It's meant to be.
So tell us all, Eden, our viewers are dying to know what's it like being a businesswoman and owner of a salon right here on Sunset Boulevard. You know, you're right where it all happens here, so it's a big job, yeah?
I wake up in the morning and I get my kids to school and I get to Pilates, and on the days that I come to work and we make miracles happen, and it's the team. It's really the team that keeps this, because I have an amazing team. So it's really something that I'm grateful for, and every day I wake up and sometimes I sit back and I'm like, wow, this is happening. And this is happening because I chose to make it happen.
You talk about your team. One of the things that we hear out there a lot is it's really hard to find great team members. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I definitely agree. I think it's a blessing to find people who come from, one, are really good at what they do and believe in the craft and know the history. A lot of people coming from where I come from sometimes are like, Vidal who? Like, okay, let's go back to school and let's work on our education, because if you don't know the history of where you're coming from, there's a problem. Two, you really, eat, breathe, and sleep what you do, because that's what I saw growing up. And then finding a balance to it with, for me, a healthy lifestyle. Today you see a lot of the youth. I can't believe I'm 41 and I have to say the youth, but it's true. You see the kids today kind of finding their way and what it is, and it's about dating and drinking and going out and things that I'm like, whoa, you're going to look back and say, I missed a lot of years when I could have been really focused on some life-changing decisions. So I think, part of finding the team is part of finding the individuals. Who are they? Where do they see themselves? Are they going through that journey now? Can I help them sort of evolve? Have they gotten to that next stage in their life where they're ready and, all right, or are they kind of in the middle of it all and it's chaos? And you know what, to be honest, unless they're willing and open and wanting to change, I don't want to be a part of it. See, on the business end, it was more, again, about the individual. It was more the family, this whole team of Sassoon. It was overwhelming. It was like, whoa, you walk into this incredibly large salon with everybody, very disciplined and with all about what my father. I'm like, wait, he's just my dad. So it was sort of, I'm coming after school, who's going to wash my hair, we're going to color some, we're going to play. It's playtime for me. But being surrounded by it all the time, it was a very structured and disciplined way of a brand, a business. And then, seeing all sides of the man behind that. I think it sort of just would sink in, or has sunk in, to kind of make me who I am today. And then on a deeper, in losing that to May 2+ years ago, is when it really kicked into high gear. Is when I had to say, okay, everything up until now, you always will be daddy's little girl, but now it's time. And my life has changed completely. So I always say, in loss, you gain so much. There's a story. That's a story. Dad was in the hospital, and he was we thought he was in ICU, and we thought it was the last time, or close to the end, and thank God he got out, and telling, I'd like to take you to lunch. Of course, Dad, I'll see you tomorrow. And we sat, and at this point I was just emotions running wild nonstop. Like, and he said, I'll be giving you a gift, but I really would like to see what you can do with that gift before I go. And since I thought I was just going to go, I'll be giving you, 1, here's a man who's dying. 2, it's my father. 3, he's just saying, I'm giving you X amount of dollars. Like, oh my God, like, and 3, 4, what are you going to do? Shit. What? It's like you just won the lottery, yet you're losing. I mean, there's no explanation. And I sat just thinking, what? And I knew it was close to home, and I knew that I have a voice, and I knew that it had to be my passion. So I would sit back, what is your passion? Who are you? And those are my questions, and that's how I opened the Pilates studio. So I would come back to those 2 questions. What is your passion, and who are you? Who are you? And I was actually at a blow-dry place in Beverly Hills, because it was hard for me to go to the salon all the time because I was so emotional and everyone would talk. And so I would go to this place, and I would sit in there, and I'd look around, and all I wanted to do was get out. It was dirty. The people were vile. No one was smiling. No one was talking. I was emotionally a mess. I couldn't even be like, let's talk. Like, there was nothing there that I wanted. Nothing. And so I'm looking in the mirror, and I'm getting my hair blown out, and I'm like, I got it. I am my dad's daughter. These sort of dry bars are happening everywhere now. Forget the dry bar. Let's open a finishing studio where women can go to all in one roof. They can get their hair done. This is just their nails done, their makeup done. They can feel looking great, you know? This will just be my platform for what I want to do. Because I have a voice, and what I want to do is a lot bigger. But in the industry, let me just get my feet sort of grounded. Dad wants to know what I want to do. I'm going to open a finishing studio for women and not break their pockets, and not, just kind of, it just started there. And I went back and said, Dad, I have an idea. And he was like, what? Do it.
That's so cool.
And he saw the space built out. It was a different name at the time. But nothing was here, just the walls. And so when I started to build and create, because I grew up in a salon, I didn't want anything to feel like you were in a typical salon. Mm-hmm. I wanted to feel like you were in my home. And you just happened to be around a lot of people getting your hair done or your nails done or your makeup. But people were nice and people were friendly, and maybe someone was crying and having an emotional day and able to talk to, whether it be me or the staff, because they understand and they have hearts. Just the whole sort of everything I've been talking about. So I think I've done a good job in creating that environment.
Well, I'll tell you, when we walked in here today, we met you a couple of times at the mashup and things. But that's exactly what come across.
Yeah.
As you walk in, it was just like, the girls on the front desk, just lovely.
It's
and that's hard to get. Hard to achieve. That's good.
Well, I always say, like Amy's like, well, we have to train, we have to work on their craft. I'm like, okay, well, we can send them to the academy, we can send them for education. How's their heart? Who are they?
Yeah.
And that's if I have that. And they have talent, then we can, but if they don't have the heart, then we got a problem.
So it really was born out of the situation you were in at the time, feeling, what's the word, probably vulnerable in some sense, of course, but going through an emotional roller coaster you'd never been on before.
Yeah.
So, excuse me, is this something that you help equip your team with what to do, what to say, or is it one of those situations where you just find those people that have that natural affinity?
I think, and I've been blessed that they come to me. Some of them come a little wounded and broken and needing to take that next step, and they find me, and I know, and we do the dance. Some of them come and they're just like, shh, not ready, and there's only been a few, and they're out. Not because I say you're out, it's because we don't fit, and others are just like, oh my God, wow, this is work? This is what it's like? I'm like, should it be different? Is this not what it's like?
The word mindful.
Yes.
You love that word.
You said mindful, and it made me just feel calm. And I think that if more people were mindful, like really, if everyone that we came in contact with were mindful, oh my God, just about anything, what they ate or what they drank or how they spoke or how they reacted to things, or my son never closes the door behind him when he leaves the house, or at night, just anything, it would just be so beautiful. Or, you know, when you're at work, clean your station, or sweep the hair after you've just done a client, or call someone and say, you know what, you did a great job, or call your mom or your dad, or I love you, hang up, or your ex-husband and say, hey, thank you for raising 2 beautiful kids, and I do all these things because I'm very grateful, so I try to really be aware of everybody else.
Is this something that's been part of your journey to where you are now? Have you had a time where you've battled to get to this?
Oh, for sure. For sure. I think through suffering we get to places, through that really achy, maybe dark at times, but really uncomfortable place. And then all of a sudden you're like, wow, okay. And I think it's consistent, And I am this woman at 41, and maybe at 43 or 44, something else is going to come about. But I think I know how to handle the suffering better and different. So there'll be less suffering now. God forbid something happens to one of my children. But to me, I think the worst has happened. My father has passed, and as a daddy's girl, unless something happens to a child, or God forbid I got sick, I'm sure I could push through that, but
it's pretty tough, hey, but it's also given you strength, like you said before, strength that's still growing and building.
Yeah. Sometimes I find myself, because, I lost my sister, we all have our stories, but I kind of, like, my dad had this story, and he made me kind of who I am, so it's like, get on with it. Do it, make it happen. I'm like, I just want to, Dad, no, go do something for someone else, you'll feel better. Where I start to do that to people, and I'm like, wait, don't lose your empathy or your compassion for maybe they need a little bit, like, soften up. But sometimes I'm like, I didn't get that, why should you? You can do it. Find it within yourself.
So what keeps you motivated? What makes you jump out of bed in the morning? What makes you find your voice on the days when it's a bit hard to find?
Now, this industry, the Thirst Project, my dad's legacy.
Tell us about that.
Oh my God, I just said 3 things. I don't even know where to start. I don't even know how I got to be able to say those 3 things all in the same sentence. Because as a little girl, I've wanted to help change this world. And the Thirst Project is something that I saw myself doing. And when it came to me, and I said, how can I do something bigger inside of it? And then in carrying on Dad's legacy, it all came together. And then the industry behind it, and it all made sense. It's like, it's my dream as a child that's happening. And that on a daily is what keeps me just, you would think I'd say my kids, that's next, but that motivated every day, and exercise, and my children, and what for some reason I always go back to the last 5 minutes that we have. What goes on in our brains the last 5 minutes we're alive? Or 3 minutes. Obviously we know we're dying. Something our soul knows, it's transcendent. Something is going on. Now what happens to our brains, and what thoughts are we having? I want to know that I left something here. I want to know that I made a difference. I want to know that I've had moments with people that are going to be remembered, that I'll remember them, that I don't want to just be like, my life was a routine. I know that I'm here and I'm taking up space. Well, I'm going to be responsible and use it wisely. So, I mean, I know that sometimes I put a kind of high, you can do this. I feel like I am my dad. You can do this. Make it happen. But it's true. We're here once in this body, as far as we know. So do something. Do something great. And it doesn't have to be, oh, everyone knows about it. Just something.
So with the first project, because there's so many amazing things going on everywhere, isn't it? What really turned you on to that? Just thought, that's the one for me. What made the...
It was very simple. I went, and it's funny you're asking me now. I went to my girlfriend, Robbie Brenner. She said, she's a dear friend. We are kind of connect in spirit like that. And our daughters are in school together. And she said, I'm getting honored for the Visionary Award for a project I'm involved with. You know, would you come? I'm like, sure, when, where, I'll be there. And I show up, and I didn't know what I was going to, where I was going. I knew it would be fun. Everyone's going to look good. She's being honored. That's all I care about. So we get there, and my girlfriend Drew and I, and a date. I brought my girlfriend. I was like, don't bring sand to the beach. Don't ask. I was like, hey, maybe. So sorry, Drew. So I asked. So we're taking selfies, and we're doing all these cute things, and I'm like, kind of looking around, getting the feel of everything. So I see this gentleman in a white tuxedo. So I thought he was, can you take a picture of us? It's Seth Maxwell, the CEO of the Thirst Project. And I'm like, oh, Eden, you're such a, of course, that is such a me or dad thing to do. I had no idea. He was the most lovely, sweetest, and that was our running joke for the night. So that was my first, like, oh, okay. And then I got into the evening and was just, how could you not get involved? How could you see what's going on and not want to help in any way possible? Here, take $100, take $25. How about that?
Yeah.
Wait, there's more I can do. Who can I tell? Okay. Wait, I can have a little event at my house. What? Anything. And I was just, my brain was going. And I saw Robbie take the Visionary Award, and I was just like, oh, I was just like clapping and yelling and screaming and so happy because she's a mom. She's married. She runs Relativity. She makes movies, and she makes movies that mean something. So she's one of those people I'm talking about. She takes up space, and she means it. So she's a fierce woman. And she's full of love. I'm like, you're like Superwoman, and you do all of it. And she's like, I was beside myself, and I was like, part of me was like, oh, I want to be like her. And then there's a part of me that has always wanted to, there's something in Africa, there's something that brought me, it's a silly story, but Man in the Mirror, Michael Jackson. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Every time it was on, every time I'd see it, anything, I just gets me so deep that like, I need to be the person. I'm the one who I have to help. I have to do something. Like that song just changed my life. And so seeing her get that, and Seth and I sat down, and we kind of just, it came out of lunch. Wait a minute. We as an industry waste so much water. And one thing my father tried to do was bring this industry together, and what the capabilities are and the possibilities, and how, I mean, everyone has these hearts, and some of them are misguided, and some of them are this. I'm like, wait, I can do this. I can do this. Cut to the beginning of Beauty Gives Back is what I like to, I don't know why that stuck, it just did. And it's been incredible. And this year, the same award that I watched her get 2 years ago, they're giving to me.
Oh, yeah, baby.
And when he called me a few weeks ago before the show, the weekend, and I was like, I pulled over and had one of those moments again, and I started crying and sweating like I am now, and I was like, oh my God. Okay. because you're making it happen, and just take it in. And like, and all I could see was the little girl inside of me watching Man in the Mirror, and just like, okay, don't stop, just don't stop, whatever you do. Phil just had a great idea. Because he was talking about people, all the product lines are doing different things, and for the month of March, we're doing with Pure Extensions, Aqua Extensions, and donating this whole campaign. And he was like, a water bottle should just be called Thirst. And then I was like, just on the bottom it should say healthy hair. And then I was like, yeah, and on the back it should just say beauty gives back. And everything should go just to be building walls. Because what would we do without water? Like, really, people, we still don't understand it. No.
I thought of you yesterday. We were walking somewhere, because we've been a lot of places in LA in the last few days, and the fountains were absolutely beautiful, and you came to mind straight away.
When you saw the
and
water?
I bet you look at that and think, look at all that fresh, beautiful water coming out of there, and here you are working so hard at, helping the people.
I try not to think okay, this is this, and then what if, and sometimes, but I think a lot when my kid, it really hits me when my kids, when Olivia was sick, there was a story, and she was praying, like, Mommy, I just want my life back, and I want to drink water, and finally, when she felt better, she's like, she literally, my hands were on her praying, she's like, get your pink rock, because the rose quartz will heal your heart, and we did all these things. She's like, finally, oh, I'm so grateful for being healthy, and I'm like, and don't take it for granted, because kids, so she knows I'm getting honored. I said, the only way you can come to the Thirst Project Gala where Mommy's being honored is if you do a research project and you know all about it. And you can walk that red carpet with me and take those photos because you know everything that's going on. She's like, okay, I'm ready, Mommy, I'm ready. And she's, otherwise I'm like, you don't need to come. My son's like, oh, I'm going to be famous. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're crazy. If you don't know everything about thirst, you can't come, dude. What are you talking? Because I have a big problem with people who think fame is something special. Yeah, no. Not unless you're doing something special with it, yeah. So when my son says that, I want to wring him by his neck.
How old are they?
He's 8 and she's 9.
Nice.
Yeah.
Lovely. Nice age, hey?
Yeah, but he's always like, I'm thirsty. I said, good, suffer. That's how we learn. He's like, right?
Right, yeah.
Suffer. You'll have water in 25 minutes. If you only knew.
So what's the next step for your salon?
Oh my God.
What are you working on right now?
There's so many things that we're trying to make happen and just start. Some projects that are really close to my heart that will happen. Just a matter of time and manpower. But thirst is, number one. The salon, it's like everyone's like, well, can we put it here? Can we put it here? And I'm like, whoa, everyone slow down. Let's remember one thing. There's good and bad to being a Sassoon. And the bad is, at some point, your business is contained, which I love, because I kind of can't get too big to keep it as everything we've been talking like today. And then there's a side to, I am a Sassoon, and there's a side to that business that I want to be a part of, that I am a part of, that is part of me. That company, those people, well, maybe not the company, but that team. So there's a lot going on, and then there's even stuff where, it's going to all come out. Everyone's, don't say a word about this, and don't say a word about that. I'm like, okay. So it's like everything will break at the same moment, where there's something happening in the business where there's going to be a lot of health being, especially where I'm very passionate about. Dad wasn't just a hairdresser. He woke up every morning and he exercised and he ate healthy and he took care of his body. And he was able to create what he created, not only because he was given a gift and he used it wisely, but because he used everything. And every day till the day he died, he took care of that. And everybody takes it for granted. This is, this is your body. This is what we eat. This is what we put in. We all have our moments, So, and I think in the business, and you can get really unhealthy and being on your feet all day and not exercising and maybe, I'm tired, or let's go out and be crazy, and maybe you have a few too many drinks, and it just doesn't matter. We smoke and it's cool. No. Let's retrain our brains and get back to, from what I know from that man, he created that because he was set, made, and ready to create that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of health stuff that are going to be coming in from me.
It's awesome.
It's fun. It's fun. I really get to be me, share my truths and my battles with everyone. Like, we all live them, and some people are afraid of their own. So then, how about I share mine? And if you can relate to it, maybe you're ready to, and that's what I find a lot. Or I get to share my dad, and I find out so much love in that, and tears, and history, and even kids who are way younger than me. I'm like, how do you even know? And they this weekend, like, wow. That to me, as his daughter, thank you. I didn't do anything. I'm here. I'm here for you. You're here for me. Like, together, this is a gift. Incredible. I don't know. I mean, growing up, I'm like, what is this hair stuff? Like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm ready to cut my hair. It's a huge thing. And then I'm put, my tattoo, my scissors, like, for the industry. That means a lot to me, that I want there. One, for Dad, but two, for what he did for so many people, and for what so many people do for so many other people. And then on the backhand of it, giving back, help ending thirst, which will happen. So there's a lot going on. And yet I have to come back to Australia and
Say yes.
yes. Of course. Of course.
Can you just show everyone your scissors? Come on, I don't want to see them. Can you lift that up? Look at that. That's lovely.
I was asking too. I was texting everybody. I was like, can someone tell me what it was like in the 60s? I don't want to get a pair of scissors that are from like 2014. It was very and they were getting back to me. Oh, they're about 4. I'm like, okay, I think I got it. Yeah.
That's great.
So, what about your children? Is there any signs that they're going to go into the industry, do you think?
Oh.
They're a bit young yet.
No, they're not. They're why. I don't know where these kids came from. But some kids you kind of see and they float around, they do their thing. My kids are like sharp. Like, you got your dad's brain, you got my heart, you're good. This is a good mix.
Yeah.
My daughter loves fashion.
Awesome.
I'm like, okay, that works. Can we trademark your name now? No, I'm kidding. See, I am a businesswoman. Oh my God, it's happening. I start thinking like, wait. And then I said, Olivia, she's taking a bath. I go, you're 8. This was then. I'm like, if you start liking makeup, we can start makeup classes. You can tell every week. Have you ever, a woman, Estee Lauder? Like, I'm trying to trust me, it'll be good.
Yeah.
And then my son, he loves sports. So right now, I don't know. Yeah, but I'm thinking, CEO, I don't know. Because Dad's biggest regret was selling the company and not keeping it in the family. So my mind thinks, these kids better, I didn't think that way then. Where, they're so young. So there's time for training. Brainwashing, no, I'm kidding. No, it has a natural evolution. I think naturally after I got divorced, I had to start wearing the different hats of being, okay, I'm single, here's my single time life, and here's my mom time life. So I learned really well, and that was hard. It was really hard. Now I sort of see the different hats I have to put on, and then I have to make sure that when I'm wearing one hat, that the other role is being taken care of, and then I'm not hurting anyone, if that makes sense. And so I find myself at times, depending on the situation, being like, having to explain myself. Because either it's going to be me creating what I want to create as far as business and having 2 children, and that's kind of it, or me with everything else that I want, love included, and learning how to wear all the hats. Or I'll be like 60, oh, she's a great businesswoman, how I got there, with kids, and like you forget about the rest. So it's really, here's my health time, and I make time for that. Here's my, my mom time. Here's my relationship time. Here, everything. It's hard because you should. Yeah. And then when I here's my dad time. Here's my industry time. Here's my who I am, and I'm gonna open myself up and be 100% me for you, for so many reasons, and that's hard too. So it just takes a lot. Just, you know what? Just being real in every way, and then saying, okay, I'm gonna take 2 days just to not leave my house and just rest my brain and my heart and my body, like you're gonna do in a few days.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah. So is that what you do? Do you have regular time out, or do you just do it as you need to? How do you work that schedule?
I try to do it what I feel is coming up. Like if I can go and go and go, great. If I know that kind of everything's calm, okay, slow down, because you know what's about to come. Because I know, like in the next few months, even this and this and this, and I'm so emotionally engaged that my body will shut down. And I learned that because for some reason out of the blue I got sick. My thyroid just gave out on me. I'm like, wait a minute. I have half Superman blood in me. My dad never got sick until he got sick. So that really taught me that where that downtime is so important, because I would go, and I could until you can't, and then, oh my God, what do you do? So now I really take downtime.
And you also have a Pilates studio.
I do.
Yeah. So that's a big part of your life. Tell us about that.
It's an incredible part of my life. That is it's actually I've had the Pilates studio for 7 years, because that was when I was first asked, what are you going to do with your life? I'm a mom, I'm fine. Oh shit, I'm a miserable mom, I'm fat, I hate my husband. Dad, that's a great question. I'll get back to you. Cut to today. The Pilates studio got me through all those times too. The divorce, my physically, I don't feel good, I don't look good, like all these things, like it was my ground of like, I have my studio, I'm building this place. These women would come in and share their stories with me, and their kids have cancer, or this woman's getting through a divorce, or I understand everything. These women would just come together, and it was just, forget the workout, that was just part of it. It's incredible, and it's still like they're still there today. We're like, it's been 7 years, we know each other, and I'm like, how's your dog? Just everything. I always say, friends that work out together stay together, or a relationship that works out together works, So that's been I've had many of opportunities to kind of sell it, get rid of it. There was a time where it wasn't making the money that it was in the beginning, and everyone's, well, why do you keep it? I keep it because it makes people happy. Because people who can't afford the Pilates that they're charging hundreds and hundreds of dollars per class, they know that they can come and get a great workout because I care. That's why I keep it. And any businesswoman who was more, the dollar sign would have been like, at that time, get rid of it. No. And it's incredible. So I actually went to Australia, and we were on Bondi Beach, and every morning I'd wake up and I'd drag Amy out of bed and she'd be like on the machine sleeping, and I'd go walk across the street in this gorgeous Pilates studio, and the wood floors, and the beach was right down there, and I'm like, oh my God, this is my dream Pilates studio. How do I make this happen at home? And I'm not going to be at the beach, but oh, I love this place. I want to be in Australia. I love Australia. So we come back home, and my lease wasn't up for like another 3 years. I'm like, oh, what am I going to do? It's awful. Cut to, I get a notice from the city saying that they're tearing down our building because they're building the subway straight through. So I'm out.
Damn.
So I found my perfect location on a second story. So you look out, you don't know if you're on the beach or where you are. As far as I'm concerned, I'm in Bondi Beach in Australia. And I built my perfect Pilates studio.
Oh, wow.
All from being that trip to Australia. I recreated the Eden. It's a lot like the salon, and my home, but in the Pilates version. So I built my passion and turned it into a business.
That is so cool. That is awesome.
It's fun.
One question I'd like to ask. What did it feel like, that moment when you sat on stage at the weekend and had your hair cut off?
And it was like here.
Yeah.
Well, it's about here.
Yeah.
Well, it was there when I originally, and then I took it up a little because I was preparing myself. I knew that in all this change that I'm talking about, my hair had to go with it.
Yeah.
And I knew at some point I was going to end up like this or like that, or something close.
Yeah.
It was just a matter of when. Because I was really, really, really tormented as a child with like the Sassoon cuts. And yet, that's my dad. But I couldn't wrap my head around it. It was like, oh, again, the hair stuff. What is this? All I know is like I see the products in my shower, and I know we have a salon, and I get to go hang out and have fun with everyone, but I didn't really understand.
Yeah.
But I knew my gut was always like, you come close to my hair and trim any more than this, we're going to have a big problem. So as I started like letting go, and I saw the master's class, and I came down to Mark, and I literally walked up to him, and he just tears, and I knew that this was happening. That's like the sure sign of like, oh, I hear you. Okay. And I knew, I was walking up to him and saying like, okay, I'm ready. What I just saw up there, I am now ready. I would like you, and I said, I want my hair in your hands. It was more like a loving way. Also, we're family. Like, I miss you. How are you? And he just, everything was like, whew, the can opened. And it all was like, all right, show, cut to, we worked on, what do you want? He thought it was longer, all this, and I was just like, Mark, do whatever you want. And his idea of whatever you want was a 5-point cut or twiggy. And I was like, okay, everything but. We'll get there. Maybe next year we can go to twiggy. And everyone's like, do you like it? Do you like it? I'm like, I love it. I don't feel, the psychology behind the cut is like, I've been released of all that stuff.
Awesome.
I don't even know what it all was. Just emotional baggage. Like, I don't even feel weighed down by hair. I feel like now I'm this like human being seen. Because for a while there I was like, I'm not the hair girl. I'm not just Dad's daughter. Let's pull my hair back off my face and tie it in a bun. I can't walk around with buns forever. Like, wait a minute. Let me represent and really show what something that he do and the company does, and it's wow, that's a whole different skill.
Something that you just said just then, I'm not just Dad's daughter. Has that been something that you've had to consider, or you've backed up against, or has been hard for you over the years?
No, oddly enough. People have really seen me for me. I think first, Eden, they think one thing, and they think a righteous, spoiled girl who's Vidal's daughter. And within the first 3 minutes of us talking or seeing each other, they're shocked. And I get that a lot. Even since I was in boarding school as a young girl, just friends. Oh, she's from Beverly Hills. So I think at a young age, I've always had to deal with that, and I just come as I am, and everyone's pleasantly, it's not an issue. If anything, it's more like, oh, thank God you're you know, and it's like a double kind of surprise of goodness. And it's in Dad's book, he says, I love it. I don't know how, and my youngest daughter, she's the most like me. Just that the empathy and the compassion for life. He really just, I got it.
One thing you'd like to say to all our viewers out there? To wrap up
my
today.
God.
One thing. How hard is that?
One
That's pretty
thing.
hard, right? One thing to all our viewers who are watching this with
all of us.
inspiration and, you know.
No, I'm just trying to think of all the things that have been said to me that really make a difference in my life. And for me, who I am on a daily is really just stop and be present and be grateful and have purpose. I mean, what happens from that? There are no words, you know, just like
beautifully said. Eden, Sassoon, thank you so much.
I love you guys.
We're going to kidnap her now.
I can't wait to see you in Australia.
I'm going to roll her up and put them in my face.
I don't know if you have to roll me. I might just fit in there.
Thank you so much, viewers.
Mwah.
Bye-bye.